Hey, Smarty fans, your pal Trusty has a gift for you. A 7-day free trial of WhoSmarted Plus. That's right. If you sign up for WhoSmarted Plus, you'll get 1 week of free access to all our subscriber episodes and bonus Smarty Cues, all ad-free. Parents, educators, and Smarty Pants have been letting us know how much they love their WhoSmarted Plus subscriptions. Now's your chance to see what all the excitement is about. Again, this offer is 100% free. You can cancel anytime within the trial week. But I have a feeling you're going to want to stick around for all the exciting adventures and extra smarting. Sign up now right in Apple Podcasts or on WhoSmarted.com. Just click Join WhoSmarted Plus. Thanks for smarting with us and supporting WhoSmarted. Hey there, Smarty fans, especially parents and educators. We've got something special for you, and it's not just another exciting episode of WhoSmarted. It's a chance for you to help shape the future of our show. We're on a mission to make WhoSmarted even better for both our brilliant young listeners and their amazing parents and educators. That's why we're inviting you to participate in our exclusive, first ever WhoSmarted survey to let us know what's working and where we can improve. So, parents and educators, grab a cup of your favorite beverage, cozy up, and take a few minutes to fill out our survey. Head over to WhoSmarted.com and click Survey. Together, let's make WhoSmarted the best it can be. Thanks for being an awesome part of our smarting community. And remember, the survey is at WhoSmarted.com. Just click Survey. Psst. Hey, Smarty Pants. Let's play a game. I'm going to name a food, and you tell me what meal you think this food goes best with. Your choices are breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Just call out whatever meal you think makes sense for the following foods. Ready? Here we go. Bacon and eggs, spaghetti and meatballs, tacos, peanut butter and jelly, pancakes, hamburgers, turkey and cheese sandwich, sushi, fettuccine alfredo, Caesar salad, chicken pot pie, cereal, grilled cheese, cheese doodles.
Huh?
Okay. The last one was a trick question. You shouldn't have cheese doodles for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. But they do make a great snack. But for the rest of them, chances are you had a pretty strong opinion for when you should eat them, right? Well, certainly for the obvious breakfast foods like eggs, bacon, pancakes, and cereal. Of course, you could have those for dinner too.
Pancakes!
And some of the others felt more like dinner foods, right? Like spaghetti and meatballs, sushi, and fettuccine alfredo. But of course, you could also have those for lunch. And then there were the obvious lunch foods like peanut butter and jelly, turkey sandwiches, and grilled cheese. But you could have those for breakfast or dinner too. But they just feel right at lunchtime, am I right?
Yeah.
But here's a question for you. Have you ever stopped to wonder why you eat lunch? Why is it called lunch in the first place? And did someone actually invent lunch? And what is the most popular lunch food of all?
Meat cake!
No, not meat cake, whatever that is. But it does involve meat in the shape of a cake. It's time for another whiff of science and history on
WhoSmarted? Who's smarted? Who's smart? Is it you? Is it me? Is it science or history? Listen up, everyone. We make smarting lots of fun on WhoSmarted.
Okay, imagine you're in school, or playing outside, or driving in a car, or visiting relatives. It's around the middle of the day, the sun is directly overhead, unless it's raining, and it's about 4 or 6 hours after you ate breakfast. You did eat breakfast, I hope. So, what do you notice starting to happen inside your body? What was that? Was that your stomach growling because you're hungry? That's right. If you're like most people, you start to get hungry right around then.
I'm starving.
Yep, me too, which is why I love lunch. But while most of you eat lunch every single day,
Nom 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 nom.
do you really know what lunch is? Well, to better understand lunch, first you need to understand the other meals of the day. Go ahead, shout them out. That's right. Breakfast and dinner. Now, while we could do an entire episode about each of those two meals, here's the quick version. Breakfast is an English word that literally means what it says. You break the fast. No, not fast as in moving quickly. Fast or fasting as in going a long period of time without eating anything. For most of you, that means all the time since dinner or dessert from the day before, which includes when you were asleep. After all, you probably didn't eat anything while you were sleeping, right?
I dreamt I ate the world's biggest marshmallow. Hey, where's my pillow?
The word breakfast was invented to signify the first bit of food you eat after you wake up. Dinner is a little trickier, but we need to explain it because dinner used to mean lunch.
Huh?
Allow me to explain. Dinner used to refer to the main meal of the day, which was eaten anywhere between noon and 3 p.m. Any guesses why? Is it because A, there was no electricity? B, people went to bed very early in order to get up very early? C, people's days revolved around the sun. So which did you say, Smarty Pants? Well, no matter which one you picked, A, B, or C, you're right. All of those things contributed to people only having 2 main meals a day, breakfast and dinner. Sometimes they'd have a light meal in the evening called supper, but dinner definitely used to be lunch.
What?
But then, over time, as people began working 9 to 5, and things like light bulbs and electricity allowed a person's day to get longer, the main meal moved later and later in the day until dinner became the big evening meal.
Amazing.
Which brings us to lunch. Once dinner became an evening thing, there was suddenly a need for some kind of food during the day to keep people going while they worked. The word lunch comes from the word luncheon, which dates back to the 1650s and once meant thick hunk, as in a thick hunk of meat.
Meat cake?
No, not meat cake. Back in 1755, lunch was simply as much food as one's hand can hold. And that's where the thick hunk comes in. Hey, Smarty Pants, take a look at your hand. How much food can you hold? A little? A lot? Well, that would be your lunch.
Oh man, I wish I had bigger hands.
As for lunch foods, lunch could be any kind of handheld snack you could eat during the day. It wasn't until around 1900 that lunch was regularly taking place between 12 and 2 p.m. So, who gets credit for actually inventing lunch? Is it A, Samuel Luncheon, B, Abigail Snackington, or C, New York City? Would you believe it's New York City? While no one person invented lunch, New York is credited with turning a handful of meat into the more established lunch that we know today. It may have gone something like this.
Hey, Louie, let me ask you something. Do you get tired and hungry around 1 o'clock every day?
Are you kidding, Harry? I'm up here doing construction every morning starting at 8 a.m. Bada boom, bada bing. When it hits me, oh, the afternoon slump.
Me too. But I live over 40 minutes away, outside the city. There ain't enough time to get home and back to grab something to eat.
Same with me, Harry. Plus, I'm 30 stories up in the air building this building. If only there was a way I could bring some food from home to work. That way I could eat in the middle of the day.
Louie, are you some kind of genius or something? That's the greatest idea since sliced bread.
Okay, it didn't happen exactly like that, but New York is the reason lunch became the day's third fixed meal. As more and more jobs moved from the farms into the more populated cities, more workers were unable to return home for the main meal of the day until after work. So, they needed something to get them through the day. Which brings us to something else one of the workers mentioned. Can you figure out what it was?
Sliced bread.
That's right. First appearing in 1930, wrapped sliced bread quickly became the go-to standard for sandwiches. Now, while people had the slicing technology for bread before then, they didn't have the wrapping technology to keep the bread fresh. But now, people could carry lunch from home in lunch boxes, a relatively new invention, and eat a meal on the job. Lunch soon became the first meal that is regularly eaten outside of the home, which meant it needed to be low cost, relatively fast, reliably clean, and high quality. And while lunch started out as workers eating a sandwich from home on the factory floor or on the beam of a building under construction, it soon became a business unto itself as enterprising food sellers set up pushcarts outside places of work. Have you ever seen food trucks lined up selling all kinds of food? Yep, these carts were the early versions, selling everything from hot dogs to pizza to meatball sandwiches and
Meat cake!
no. But those meatball sandwiches would eventually become the most popular food in America. And we'll tell you how right after this quick break. Hey, Smarties, trusty narrator here. I had a unique challenge recently. I needed to learn German for a friend's wedding in just a few weeks. That's when I found Babbel. Thanks to Babbel, I'm well on my way to holding my own in German conversations and just in time for the wedding. Babbel makes learning a new language engaging and practical. It's not just about words, it's about real conversations that you can actually use. And here's a special deal for our listeners. Right now, get 55% off your Babbel subscription, but only for our listeners at babbel.com/smarted. Get 55% off at babbel.com/smarted. It's spelled BABBEL.com/smarted. Rules and restrictions may apply. Join me on this language learning journey with Babbel. Auf Wiedersehen, and let's embrace new conversations together. Hello, Smarty listeners. Trusty here, home after a long day of smarting, and boy, am I hungry. The question is, what to cook? Do I make crispy chicken parmesan? Or yummy salsa verde enchiladas? Or mouth-watering chicken sausage spaghetti bolognese? Now, I know what you're thinking. Trusty, how can you possibly cook such amazing, delicious, restaurant-worthy meals after a long day? It's easy. Just say hello to HelloFresh. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit, and it is literally the best thing ever. Each week, I choose from over 45 scrumptious, chef-crafted recipes online. Then, when my box arrives, I have everything I need for easy-to-make, hearty, healthy, delicious meals that I just know you and your family will love. Oh, and if that wasn't enough, HelloFresh wants to give you free breakfast for life. Just go to HelloFresh.com/smartedfree and use code SMARTEDFREE for free breakfast for life. One breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/smartedfree with code SMARTEDFREE. Now back to Who Smarted. So, any guesses as to what popular lunch food began as a meatball sandwich sold from a street cart? Is it A, meatball subs, B, pizza, or C, hamburgers? Got your answer?
Woo! Meat cake!
Grandma, stop trying to make meat cake happen.
Fine. C. Hamburgers.
That's right. Did you guess that too, Smarty Pants? In the early 1900s, a number of people were selling meatball on a roll, which was basically cooked ground beef and some bread, which factory workers would buy, and that would be their lunch. But a short-order cook named Walter Anderson flipped the script one day when he got frustrated with how long it was taking the meatballs to cook all the way through on his grill. He slammed his spatula on a meatball, flattening it. And just like that, the hamburger patty was born. Walter would go on to start his own restaurant specializing in these flattened hamburger patties. Any guesses as to the name of his now famous burger joint? Is it A, McDonald's, B, Burger King, C, Wendy's, or D, White Castle? Got your answer? If you said White Castle, you're right.
The Serendipity Singers for White Castle. Come on in, day or night, and satisfy your appetite.
Back in the 1920s, Walter Anderson founded White Castle, which sold their now famous sliders, very small hamburger patties on a bun with onions and pickles.
Nom 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 nom.
The success of the hamburger led to more fast food places opening up in the coming years, notably a little place you may have heard of called McDonald's.
I'm loving it.
This is also around the time when people began demanding faster, cleaner lunch options, which not only led to fast food restaurants like White Castle and McDonald's, but also coin-operated automats, also known as vending machines, that served up pre-made sandwiches and beverages at the push of a button.
Can you believe this turkey sandwich cost a whole nickel?
Oh, tell me about it. It's so expensive.
It's also around this time in 1946 when President Harry Truman signs the National School Lunch Act. Now, all public schools in America would provide nutritionally balanced, low-cost, or free lunches to students every school day.
Yay!
And while the words school lunch might make you think of this,
Hey, who wants some sloppy joes with mystery meat?
free lunches for kids was revolutionary. And it helped firmly establish lunch as one of our main meals each day. Today, of course, people have dozens of lunch options to choose from the school cafeteria to your homemade PB&J, to the pizzeria, fast food restaurants, all the way up to fancy restaurants. There is no shortage of variety for your midday meal. In fact, most restaurants have special lunch menus with either lunch-type foods or smaller portions of dinner foods for slightly reduced prices. And while some would argue that only certain foods should be eaten for breakfast, pretty much anything can be eaten for lunch.
Meat cake!
Sure, even meat cake, whatever that is. A big shout out to superfans Raul and Margarita from Puerto Rico. We're so glad you love listening to Who Smarted. This episode Lunch was written by Jason Williams and voiced by Adam Tex Davis, Gia Davis, Jason Williams, Josh Hahn, and Jerry Colbert. Technical direction and sound design by Josh Hahn. Who Smarted is recorded and mixed at the Relic Room Studios. Our associate producer is Max Lunchbox Kamaski. The theme song is by Brian Suarez, with lyrics written and performed by Adam Tex Davis. Who Smarted was created and produced by Adam Tex Davis and Jerry Colbert. This is an Atomic Entertainment production. Hey there, Smarty fans, especially parents and educators. We've got something special for you, and it's not just another exciting episode of Who Smarted. It's a chance for you to help shape the future of our show. We're on a mission to make Who Smarted even better for both our brilliant young listeners and their amazing parents and educators. That's why we're inviting you to participate in our exclusive, first ever Who Smarted survey to let us know what's working and where we can improve. So, parents and educators, grab a cup of your favorite beverage, cozy up, and take a few minutes to fill out our survey. Head over to WhoSmarted.com and click Survey. Together, let's make Who Smarted the best it can be. Thanks for being an awesome part of our smarting community. And remember, the survey is at WhoSmarted.com. Just click Survey.